Statutory construction is one of the most difficult subjects you'll ever encounter in law school, depending on the professor. It is one of the most important subjects because it will give you all the tools you need to understand the law, break it down to its most essential pieces, and putting it all back together. Statutory construction is taught during the first semester of your freshman year. It is not part of the bar, but it will give you all the tools you need to apply the law in the next 4 or 5 years in law school. Depending on the professor, statutory construction is one of the biggest killers during your freshman year. I remember many years ago that only 12 to 15 people in our class passed the course the first time. And I want to help you pass this course, kapatid, however way I can. Here's what you can expect in statutory construction coming right up. This episode is brought to you by the Lex in Motion merch store, where the perks and perils of being a law student through graphic tees and statement shirts help us help others more now and in the future. Even better, make a direct donation to the charities we support. Both links in the description below. Hi, my name is Lex and welcome to Lex in Motion. In this channel, I'll be helping you build your competence, confidence, and capability in law school. Start today by hitting the subscribe button below. New episodes are posted every Friday, kahit may sakit ako. Statutory construction is a 2 or 3 unit course in law school that will teach you how to apply the law. The word statutory comes from statute, which means law. Construction, on the other hand, does not mean building and making, but instead comes from the word construe. Construe means to interpret, to give meaning, and to apply. Maraming bumabagsak sa StatCon primarily because the professors who teach it understand the importance of the subject. Kung sablay ang foundation mo dito, sablay malamang ang understanding mo ng constitutional law, criminal law, and to a certain extent, hanggang taxation at remedial law. Kadalasan, pahirapan din ang turo dito kasi sobrang dami mo rin talagang dapat matutunan. The usual teaching methodology of the course is a prescribed textbook at maraming kaso. Madalas narito na rin ang mga professors na sobra kung maka-power trip. Ito usually ang unang subject kung saan mo mararanasan na ikaw, kapatid, ay isang uod lang na walang muwang, walang alam at walang karapatang pumasok sa law school. This will be your baptism by fire and I want to make this work for you. Madalas i-compare ang statutory construction sa isang swimming lesson. Kadalasan ang mga swimming pool merong 2 to 3 feet with matching hagdan para sa mga bata. On the other end of the pool, may diving board at nasa 15 feet na ang lalim. This is called the deep end. The way statutory construction is taught, you are asked to jump on the deep end. Lulutang kung sino ang lulutang at malulunod na ang malulunod. This is where being a legal management or political science graduate comes into handy. If you've finished any of these 2 courses, chances are hindi mo first time na makabasa ng kaso, hindi mo rin first time na makakita ng skra, at kahit papano marunong ka na ring lumangoy sa lalim ng English na ginagamit ng Supreme Court. This is what I've been emphasizing in Lex in Motion. I want you to feel competent, confident, and somehow capable kahit wala ka pa sa law school. My recommended reference for statutory construction is always going to be whatever textbook your professor requires. If your professor does not assign you a textbook, you can finish the course by just diligently following the syllabus and the list of assigned cases. Otherwise, my recommended textbook is the Book of Agpalo. It's a very old book but still a very good book. As I've said before, statutory construction is a swimming lesson. You'll be asked to swim in a lot of cases, discussing a lot of case laws that you may have never heard before. You'll be asked to discuss the important cases in constitutional law, criminal law, and in taxation. You'll also be asked to read very old cases in order for you to understand how the Supreme Court arrived at a particular ruling. All of this is very overwhelming. All of this is overwhelming by design. To a certain extent, kapatid, StatCon is designed for you to fail, for you to feel you are not worthy of law school, for you to feel that you should not be in law school, for you to feel that you do not have the talent, the skill to make it as a lawyer. That was what happened to us many years ago. If we had not persisted, we would not even be here. During my freshman year, terror ang professor namin and she assigned 84 cases for our next meeting. Ayan, ilaban mo na lang. With that being said, in your StatCon, you will be asked to learn the following very well. One of the most important questions in StatCon is how a bill becomes a law. How a bill becomes a law. If you're a freshman in law school coming from political science, the process is a bit more detailed but not complicated. Learn the process well. Ilang readings ba yan? At paano ang gagawin in case of conflicts between the version of the House of Representatives and the bill from the Senate? This is usually 20 to 30 points of your midterm exams. Second most important concept in StatCon is when does a law take effect? The answer can be found as a triangulation of Article 4 of the new Civil Code and the case of Tañada versus Tovera, and more recently the case of Labugal-Bilan Tribal Association versus Ramos. Learn this concept well because the determination of when a law takes effect accounts for 5 to 15% of your midterm exams. Now let's move on to the meat and potatoes of statutory construction. This course is all about finding the correct meaning of a law or rule and making the correct application. It's a series of principles that determine which way we're supposed to go in case of conflicts within the law. For example, in case of doubt in the validity of the arrest of the accused, the principle applicable is the pro reo doctrine. This means that all doubts should always be resolved in favor of the accused and against the state. Here are 3 of the most important principles in statutory construction. Number 1, if there is no doubt, then there is no need to apply the principles of statutory construction. We only interpret, we only construe if and only if there is doubt or ambiguity in the rule. Kung ikaw, bes, ay may shared monthsary at yung monthsary na yan ay regular naman na kada 22 ng buwan, may date kayo, there is absolutely no doubt, walang duda na 1, may jowa ka at 2, ang monthsary nyo ay every 22nd of the month. Number 2, the plain meaning rule. This means that the words of the statute are to be taken in their literal or plain meaning. Technical meaning of words is applicable only if it makes sense. We do not add any deeper meaning except when the law itself provides. For example, Article 777 of the new Civil Code provides that the rights to the succession are transmitted at the moment of death. It means that the right to whatever we're supposed to inherit, ano man ang ating dapat manahin, is given to us at the precise moment of the death of the testator. Death here means death. Wala namang mahirap dyan. Number 3, ratio legis est anima. This principle in statutory construction means that when we give meaning to a rule or law, we are supposed to give the meaning that is closest to the intention of the makers of the law. The intention of the makers of the law can be found by reading the entirety of the law, the full text. You can also refer back to the transcripts of the debates of the law. This is where you will find the intention of the law. The intention of the law is the spirit of the law. For example, your mother, the lawmaker, makes a rule na lahat kayong magkakapatid ay dapat matutong kumain ng gulay dahil lahat kayong magkakapatid ay nagsisitaasan na ang BP. Applying the plain meaning rule. Kung nasa school ka o order ka ng gulay for lunch dahil mabuti kang anak. Pagdating ng merienda, naisip mong mag-snacks. Kung o-order ka ng isang timba ng french fries, technically gulay din naman ang patatas. But does your choice follow the intention of your mother, the lawmaker? I know I've made it a lot simpler than what it should be. Perhaps a little too much. This is all the time we have for this week and I hope to feel better next week. Salamat kapatid kung binati mo ako nung birthday ko. Salamat din kung inabot mo ang ending ng episode na to. Thank you so much for watching. Like and share this video for good law school karma and I will see you next Friday.